Okay, be honest with me. Have you ever desperately wanted something that you just couldn't afford? Right? We've all been there. Well, for 10-year-old Max, it was this $50 glowing mega skateboard. But instead of just kind of sitting around complaining about his $5 allowance, Max and his 8-year-old sister Mia did something honestly remarkable. Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into what is literally a masterclass in entrepreneurship, and it was sparked entirely by a kid's desire for a really cool toy. As you'll see, the story of Max and Mia's lemonade stand isn't just a cute neighborhood tale. It's actually a perfectly structured playbook for launching a startup, managing finances, and scaling a business.
So, here's our business plan for this explainer. We're going to quickly run through wants versus needs, then get into launching the startup, break down the three-jar system, talk about scaling and pivoting, and finally, hitting the goal.
All right, part one, wants versus needs, and the spark of an idea.
Look, every great business starts with a problem that needs solving. And in our case, the problem is incredibly straightforward. Max gets a $5 weekly allowance, but he desperately wants a $50 mega skateboard. You know, the works. Glowing wheels, custom stunt ramp. The math just doesn't work in his favor. So before Max can even think about business, his mom sits him down for a classic financial reality check. We've got to clearly distinguish between survival necessities and desirable luxuries. Needs are things required to actually survive and live a healthy life. Nutritious food, water, a safe home, clothes. Wants, on the other hand, are things we'd absolutely love to have, but, we can live without them. Video games, comic books, and yes, unfortunately for Max, a brand new mega skateboard, it is definitively a want.
But here is where the narrative shifts from disappointment to total empowerment. Mom drops this brilliant piece of wisdom. She tells them, if you want something that costs more than your regular income, you have to create a new stream of income. Basically, you have to earn it. She explains that people will gladly pay for something that brings them value, or in this case, refreshment. And just like that, staring at a pitcher of ice water and a bowl of lemons, the classic entrepreneur's starting line is crossed. The lemonade stand idea is officially born.
Okay, moving right along to section 2, launching the startup and building the business plan.
What I absolutely love about Max and Mia is that they treat their kitchen table prep like a high-stakes Silicon Valley strategy meeting. But before they can sell a single drop of lemonade, Mom introduces a really vital concept, capital. This is the initial money invested to buy materials before you actually start selling anything. You've heard the phrase, you have to spend money to make money, right? Well, this means Max and Mia have to dip into their own hard-earned piggy bank savings just to purchase lemons, sugar, cups, and ice. They literally have skin in the game now.
And that leads us straight to this next term, expense. Basically, every penny spent on supplies for the business. The kids take this highly strategic trip to Mr. Henderson's local grocery store with a super strict budget. They don't let themselves get distracted by the candy aisle, they focus entirely on their materials. The trip results in exactly $16 in expenses. And crucially, they keep the paper receipt, because, as Mia wisely points out, that is exactly how real businesses track expenses for accounting.
So let's walk through Mom's brilliant business math formula here. Step 1, they know their expenses are $16. Step 2, they project their revenue. They figure their supplies will make about 40 cups of lemonade. Priced smartly at $1 a cup, selling out would mean $40 in revenue. Then, step 3, estimate profit. $40 minus the $16 in expenses equals a projected profit of $24. The math is totally sound, the sign is drawn up, the stand is open for business.
And the result? A massive success. After a bustling afternoon rush hour, we're talking soccer players, neighbors, dog walkers. They completely sell out. But the best part? Thanks to some larger bills and a super generous tip from their very first customer, Mr. Gable, their actual total revenue comes out to $43.50. So subtract that $16 in expenses, and they are left with this gorgeous number, $27.50 in pure net profit.
Which brings us to section 3, the three-jar system, or smart money management. All right, we're going to pause the chronological story right here for a seriously crucial lesson. Earning money is an incredible feeling, right? But it's really just step 1. Keeping it, growing it, that requires a strategy. Let me just ask you, if you suddenly made a huge profit, how would you divide it up? Well, Mom sits the kids down with 3 clear glass mason jars. This is the three-jar system, and it's perfectly designed to teach balance and responsibility. Let's break down exactly what each of those jars actually means. 50% goes to the save jar. This is for long-term goals, like Max's skateboard. 40% goes to the spend jar. Now this is your guilt-free money for immediate short-term treats. And finally, 10% goes to the share jar. This is dedicated to helping others and giving back to the community. It's just a brilliant system because it illustrates exactly how you can create a balanced financial life without entirely eliminating the fun of your hard work.
And the system definitely works, but man, it gets tested almost immediately. A few days later, Max is walking by a candy shop with his spend jar envelope right in his pocket. He's got $11 in there, and he desperately wants to buy these big bags of sour gummy worms. I mean, it is the ultimate temptation, but Mia reminds him of the difference between smart spending and impulsive spending. Max steps away from the window, realizing something pretty profound. Sugar lasts 5 minutes, but financial discipline lasts forever. He passes the test, saving his spend money for something way better.
Okay, moving right into Section 4, Scaling and Pivoting, or How to Expand the Business.
So Max is being super disciplined, but a quick review of his savings shows he still needs $26.25. Running a lemonade stand just once a month? That's going to take forever. So Mia suggests a tighter timeline. Let's run the business every other weekend. Basically, it's time to scale up. And to increase their sales volume for that second weekend, Max decides they need to implement diversification. That means offering more than one option, so customers have choices that actually fit their personal tastes. This totally illustrates their new strategy. They decide to add strawberry sparkle lemonade for $1.50 and a half-and-half lemon tea for $1.25. Now yes, buying fresh strawberries and tea bags does increase their capital expenses to $20, but the higher price points and the massive customer demand result in a total revenue of $49.25. That means a record $29.25 in pure net profit for the weekend. Incredible. But just when things are going perfectly, we hit what you might call the dark night of the soul. A sudden, massive thunderstorm rolls in right on their planned third weekend. It's freezing. It's pouring rain. Literally no one wants ice-cold lemonade. Max is devastated. His whole timeline for the skateboard is completely derailed. So, the big question is, how do you save a summer business during a thunderstorm?
Well, you pivot. As Mom points out, you can't control the market and you certainly can't control the weather, but you can adapt your product. So they introduce the rainy day pivot. They swap out the cold lemonade for gourmet hot chocolate with mini marshmallows, selling it on their covered front porch for $1.50 a mug. And guess what? They completely save the weekend, bringing in $26 a profit. They prove that true entrepreneurial success isn't just about having good planning, it is about sheer resilience and adapting to uncontrollable risks. Which brings us to our final section, hitting the goal and the big payoff.
The storm is cleared. The hot cocoa pop-up was a massive success. Max takes his 50% cut from the rainy day profit, which is $13, and sits down at the kitchen table for one final financial review. And here it is. He dumps out his glass save jar, counts every single bill and coin, adds it to his previous balance, and stares at the calculator. $51.38. He did it. He finally surpassed his goal. Through hard work, budgeting, smart product choices, and quick weather adaptation, he crossed the finish line.
But before he runs off to the toy store, there is one last piece of business to take care of, the share jar. Over all their weekends of selling, they've managed to accumulate over $8 in their charity fund. So they go to the pet store, buy squeaky chew toys and puppy biscuits, and actually donate them to the Oak Street Animal Shelter. They even get to hand-deliver treats to rescue puppies. They find that giving back to the community makes all their hard work feel deeply, profoundly meaningful. And yes, Max finally gets his victory ride. He buys the mega skateboard with his own cash and rides it down the sunny sidewalk. But as Mom so perfectly sums it up, financial literacy is about building a mindset of independence, responsibility, creativity, and generosity. The skateboard, it's just a toy. The real prize is the incredible mindset that Max and Mia have developed along the way.
By that very evening, Max and Mia are already sitting on the porch, planning out a full neighborhood weekend market for next spring so they can start saving for college funds and bicycle upgrades. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with this question to think about. What will your next big financial project be? How can you apply these startup lessons, planning, saving, diversifying, and adapting, to reach your own goals? Thank you so much for joining me as we walk through the Lemonade Startup Playbook, and I will see you next time.